Okay, so I had 10 years of government service, 10 months of DNR. And after the 10 months of DNR, my most profound reflection is this. It's not the money. It's not the money that makes a difference. You know what makes a difference? It's the heart. I had 26 billion pesos as my budget, 14,000 employees, but the reality of this is that if people don't care, that money is not going to be well used. The money is offloaded to the regional offices, and if they don't care, one, they won't use the money well. If they don't feel for others, they won't connect with the people they're dealing with. If they don't really care, they won't get these brilliant ideas on what else can be done with the money. The heart is critical. So it is fitting that my talk for today of what if is what if the foundation of economic growth is love. And people might say, boy, she's really crazy, like money, economic growth, economy, that's money. What is she talking about? Okay, for me, first of all, I need to make it clear that love is not just an emotion. I meditate an hour to an hour and a half every morning, and when I feel the divine, I feel love. Love is a force. It's much, 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 much more than just emotion. So, to make you clear about where I'm coming, I'm going to cite certain instances, and what I would like you all to do for these next few minutes is to go to your heart. It's the wisdom of the heart. So let's start with data. Okay, sometime at the end of last year, it came out, oh my God, the Philippines' GDP is growing so much, 6.7%. My God, we're third after China and Vietnam. We have so much money. Really? Where do I, is it here? Okay, sorry. Do I show it here? There, okay. Really? Now look at where the money is coming from. $30 billion. $30 billion from OFWs. Go to your heart. How does that feel? We're funding the country by killing the social fabric of our nation. That's what we're doing. I have staff who's 23 years old, ex-staff who's 23 years old, and up to now, she still cries because her two parents were OFWs, so she grew up with the love and care. She grew up not with the love and care she would have wanted to have. Is that love? Okay, in Bantay Bata, I also started that. I always say that it's not the economy, it's not the information highway, it's not the infrastructure that makes the people great, it is the people. And if people are so important, then certainly the environment in which they have grown up in is critical. So what are we doing? What are we doing? We're funding the country by killing the social fabric of our nation. And if you look at this, 75% of contract workers work as domestic helpers, street sweepers, waiters, menial laborers. Is that love? What does your heart say? Let's look at the next slide. If you look at where the money is going, Central Luzon, 8.9%, NCR, 2.7%, Calabarzon, 6.7%. By the time you get to Bicol, 27%, Eastern Visayas, 30%, Caraga, 30%, ARMM, 44%. My God, that's why there's war in Mindanao. And I told Secretary Lorenzana, and he agreed with me. Del, no matter how many truces you sign, no matter how many peace treaties you sign, it's just not going to happen. If there's social injustice, it's just not going to happen. The key to peace is social justice, and that is an expression of love. So if you look at all of this, and because I had a lot of money when I was in DNR, I was able to travel. And I've been to all these places, and it is beyond amazing, the resources in these places, beyond amazing. Is that love? Like if you have children, you want to take care of your children, you see their strengths and you nourish them so that they come up. Look at these places. They have beauty like no other. What are we doing? So what is love? What if What if, in love, we decide to nourish these places so that they will develop and grow? That's what I'm going to call area development. Area development, where you take the strengths of the area and you nurture it for the people of the area. Look at Boracay. Boracay is one island. Yeah, one island. You know how much money is floating in Boracay? Or it used to float in Boracay? 56 billion pesos. One island. We have 7,000 islands. One island was able to generate 56 billion pesos. And guess what? When you find out where the original settlers of Boracay, the original settlers, they're called culottes, they're somewhere there in the mountains. Is that love? Where you have 56 billion pesos floating around, and the original settlers, that's their island. They're somewhere there in the mountains. I mean, go to your heart. I feel pain. That's not love at all. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about models of transformation where we have invested in the place with love. So I'm going to talk to you about Sorsogon, Gubat Sorsogon, where they have a beautiful surf. The people there were really poor, but they had a beautiful surf. So area development, you take the strengths of the area, just like you have children. You take the strengths of the area and you invest in it for the people there, So what happened? There we invested in surfboards, multi-purpose hall, glass bottom boats because they had beautiful surf, and when the fishermen's fish catch goes down, we decided let them have tourist things. Okay, new toilet and shower facilities, stand-up paddle boats, life vests, and we insisted that they commit to values. Values is critical. Values is critical to love. Okay, what happened? We put in 1.5 million pesos in 1 year. 1 year, they hit 5.9. 5.9, yeah? Their net income, and this is audited, their net income is 1.7 million. 1.7 million. Their impact to salaries is 2 million. We insisted on integrity. There's no love if there's no integrity, and we insisted that they work together. Look what happened, proof of concept. But that's not where the exciting thing happens. Look at this, there were 80 jobs created. That Lola Sayong Surf Camp helped the farmers and fishermen. If you see it there, it helped transportation, it helped tourists, it helped other tourism sites, it helped the t-shirt printers, the souvenirs, it helped massage therapists. 1.5 million. That's all, 1.5 million. About 2 months ago, I was in, is it too near me? Okay, can you hear me, Pa? Okay, so about 2 months ago, I was in Singapore, and then I found out that Singapore is not even as big as Quezon City. It's not even as big as Subic. It was barren land, like barren land. They couldn't even feed their own people. They couldn't even drink their own water. There was just nothing there, nothing. And Lee Kuan Yew invested money there for the people living there. And you know how many tourists Singapore has now? You know how many tourists? 60 million. 60 million tourists. Now we, with our 7,000 islands and our rivers and streams and volcanoes, and in my very biased opinion, the most beautiful people in the world, you know how many tourists we have? 5. What's that all about? What are we doing? Okay, let's go to the next slide. Again, Buhatan, a really poor place, very beautiful river with the Sorsogon eagle. Okay, so we invested. The people were really poor, but they had a beautiful river, area development. So we invested in a floating cottage, a floating raft, which is really nice, and then we put solar, and then you put a floating restaurant. River to table. If you want fish, you get from the river and you get it there. If you want mussels, you get from the river, you get it there. Look what happened. We put in 770,000 and we insisted on values. I always tell them, kung maglalasing lang kayo at magninigarilyo lang tayo, bye-bye. Kailangan yung pera para sa pamilya. So look what happened. We put in 770,000. In 1 year, they hit 3.7. 3.7. I didn't have to spend the amount of money that Lee Kuan Yew spent because God gave us so much. So much. 3.7 million. And then the same thing, it spilled over in the total economy. Our country should not and must not be poor. We have everything here. Okay, so let me take you to the next slide. Okay, it's the same thing. Look at Palawan. Okay, there was an 18 million year rock formation. And again, the people there were really poor. The women were doing kaingin because they could barely survive. But they had this 18 million year rock formation. Yeah, so what did we do? We spent 250,000 on spelunking equipment. And then afterwards, so many people were going there. We put in another 800,000 for a zip line. And we insisted on values. That's critical. Love and values and integrity, you can't have one without the other. It's not really love if it's dishonest. Okay, look at the numbers. Okay, here. With the money that they had, in love with the money that they had, they rolled it. They rolled it. They didn't keep it just for themselves, but because they committed to love, whatever money they had, they put up their own clinic, their own sari-sari store, their own visitor center, their own photography shop, so on and so forth. Even 2 zip lines, one of which cost 800,000. In love, they did that. So from 30 families, it became 300. Who said love has nothing to do with the economy? The barangay captain there said, Ma'am, lahat lang tao dito sa Tagabinet may trabaho dahil sa Ugong Rock. Who said love has nothing to do with the economy? It's because of love that that place has flourished. And look at the numbers. First year, 2,933,000. Next year, 611. Next year, 7 million. Next year, 12 million. Next year, 22 million. Next year, 29. Who said love has nothing to do with the economy? It's because of love that they've gotten that far. Then what happened? There was so much money they fought, so it went down to 24, and then they fought some more, and it went down to 21. Love is everything, and love is not a one-shot commitment. It's a continual process of growth. Money can never, ever, ever, ever be the goal. You're killing yourself. So what if the objective of our growth is not money, but the happiness of our people? Is that not love? When we're worried about the happiness of our people, you look at Bhutan. Bhutan's goal is not GDP. It's GNH, Gross National Happiness. And their path to happiness is to take care of what God has given them. So they have 97% forest cover. And because they have so much forest, they have so much water, we have 3% forest cover. So with all this water, they sell it to China, and they sell it to India. And this country of not even 1 million people has $2 billion every year. $2 billion. Free health, free education, very little drugs, crime, and poverty, if any at all. We're not material beings. We're emotional. We're spiritual. How can we take on matter as a summum bonum of our life? We could do next slide. Love is all about choices, choices. You know, when I asked my staff, because I sent her around everywhere to prepare things for me, I asked her, Selena, what is the most beautiful province you've ever been to? And she lives with me in Quezon City. You know, she's a neighbor. And she said, Ma'am, Surigao. I was taken aback. Surigao? I mean, I didn't ask her to say that Surigao is the mining capital of the country, and she says that's the most beautiful province she's ever been to. So look at the pictures. That's an enchanted river where there's blue fish, and every 12 hours, these blue fish magically come up. Look at the sight of that waterfall. It's awesome. Love is all about choices. Do we keep this to benefit the community? To benefit our farmers and fishermen? Because that's what God has given us. But this is the thing. God has given beauty there, but it's also given them a lot of nickel and gold. So do we take this? Or do we do this? There are 14 mine sites in Caraga. I mean, Surigao is the mining capital of the country. Wherever there's mining, 1,000 or 1,500 farmers and fishermen suffer. So what does love say? What does love say? Do we nurture this? Or do we allow this? What does your heart say? You know, you can talk about the mind and all the taxes and royalties or whatever, but at the end of the day, what does your heart say? What does the wisdom of the heart say? Do we put at risk our rivers and streams so that a few people who are already very rich want to make more money? What does your heart say? And why is the money a few people going to make more important than the water our people need to drink? What does your heart say? Wisdom of the heart. Okay, let me go another part of the economy, biodiversity. Biodiversity, if it is unique to us, is called endemic. This is the endemicity of the Philippines. The blue thing over there. Look at America. We're like one state. We have more endemicity than America. Look at what India is. We have more endemicity than India. Flora and Fauna International say that of all the countries in the planet, we have the highest endemicity per unit area. That's what God has given us. That's what God has given us. So what are we doing with that? Nata de coco, patented by Japan. Ampalaya under vitamin, these are all endemic to us. Ampalaya under vitamin A-rich vegetable, patented by America. Philippine Nutri, cancer-curing substance, patented by University of Philadelphia. Ilang Ilang, source of perfume, owned by Yves Saint Laurent. Philippine sea snail, 1,000 times more powerful than morphine, now purchased by Elan Corp of Iceland. Banaba, Saluyot, Sambong, you name it. There are pages and pages of this. You know what God has given us? 70%. 70% of what's found in the country can only be found here. 51% of all cancer cures come from shells. Do you know where the center of marine biodiversity is? Batangas. Yeah. The world's densest forest with all its biodiversity, you know where it is? Romblon. What does love say? Should we not nurture this and take care of it to benefit our people? And if we take care of our medicinal plants, couldn't that be our gift to the planet? Isn't that love when we keep what God has given us and we gift it to the planet and we make sure that our people benefit non-negotiably? That for me is love. If we don't do that, you know, I was also the chair of the Pasig River Rehabilitation. If we don't learn to live in love, that's what's going to happen. Those are the esteros in the Pasig River, and I have personally been to them. And I asked them, saan kayo galing? Bicol, ikaw. Zamboanga, ikaw. Cotabato, ikaw. Mindanao, Diyos ko. Bakit kayo nandito? You live like rats. Why? Because we haven't invested in the islands where they live in, and so they come and live like that, or they leave the country to survive. Is that love? And look at this. As the poverty level, as the GDP increases in other countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, Cambodia, the poverty decreases. But not in the Philippines. Look at this. Philippines, 26, I mean, that's the poverty level. Our GDP increases. Philippines, 26, 26, 25. Farmers, 38, 38, 38. Fishermen, 41, 41, 39. What is this all about? Because we're making our money by sending our parents overseas instead of investing here where our people can benefit. So what is love? Love is a commitment to integrity. Love is a commitment to ecological harmony. Love is working together. Love is making money, but not for the money's sake and paying it forward. Love is compassionate entrepreneurship. Do all these elements not have an impact on our economy? They do. So what if we all learn how to work together and create models of love in our country? What if? Just in the area where you have, it doesn't have to be big in government, just where you are. What if? I'll tell you what will happen. I'm over time, but I'll tell you what will happen. Okay, when my father died, I read all these books and I would see videos, and it was very, all these people that have traveled, have gone to the other world. When they go there and they're supposed to come back, almost all of them say they don't want to come back. Why? Because they say there in heaven there's love. In and out, there are interviews, and they say in heaven there is love. So I've always wondered, why do we have to die to go to heaven? Why can't we live in love? Why can't we bring a piece of heaven here? So that's how I'm going to close my talk and enjoin all of you. Know that you are all embraced by love. Whether you know it or not, you are. God loves you all, and because He loves you, I've heard a lot of the speakers talk, and they're all going out of the box. You can be anything. You can do anything because God loves you. And let us all, we can dream, diba? Why can't we bring a piece of heaven here in this country? We can. If we all today make a decision towards love, embraced by love, if we do it, and we work together, we can bring on a much, much better country. And I totally love you all. Thank you.